like to introduce another magnanimous person in the field of education, Dr. Ramakrishnan Raman, an accomplished academician and seasoned professional, Vice Chancellor of Symbiosis, to share his views on higher education system of India. Dr. Raman, Vice Chancellor, Symbiosis.
Thank you so much. A very good morning to all of you, especially the chief guest for the day and the ambassador here, my friend Dr. Ashwin, and all other delegates who have been invited, and most importantly, the students. I think that was a fantastic introduction which Dr. Ashwin gave about what's happening in India as far as education is concerned and how India is changing, which he has clearly pointed out in his book of how education was in India and what is happening now. I have just 5 minutes. In this 5 minutes, I thought I'll give the big picture of what's happening in India with some facts and figures. I am representing Symbiosis. I am the Vice Chancellor of Symbiosis. We have our presence in Noida, Nasik, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Nagpur, and of course Pune. And we are soon setting up our campus in Dubai. The process is on. Possibly by the end of this year, we'll have our presence in Dubai. And we are planning to expand to the Middle East as well. That's on the cards. Right? So that being the case, I thought I'll share certain aspects of what the education sector is with some facts and figures. Next slide, please. So basically, if you look at the number of Indian students who are enrolled, is expected to climb from 1 million SOC to about 2 million by 2025. We are already in 2024. So the number of enrollments is increasing. And direct spending by the Indian students is also going to go to about 47 billion in 2022 to 70 billion in 2025. So it's clearly seen that there is money that's being put there as far as the expense money outflow is concerned. Education sector is expected to grow also to about 313 billion by 2030. So that's the place where many corporates are putting money, setting up universities. There are corporate universities that are coming up in India. Indian universities expanding their campuses inside India as well as outside India. A lot of money is being put up there in the education sector. And if you look at the percentage of world school children globally, 25% is to what India accounts for. That is really huge. Of course, thanks to the population that we have, and that's also contributing. But yes, it's a positive story as far as the numbers are concerned. And in this, about 580 million Indians are engaged between the age of 5 to 24. One big change that has been brought in is the new education policy, which many are talking about as well. We call it NEP 2020. And the audacious goal is to increase the gross enrollment ratio in the education sector from 26% in 2018 to about 50% in 2035. So this is an audacious goal, which means the number of universities, number of schools have to go multifold from what it is now for this to be achieved, which I'll be talking about in the next slide. And we also have the foreign universities establishing their campus here. Dr. Ashwin was talking about one university, 2 universities already setting up their campus. There are many more in pipeline. So if you're looking for education from a university which is there in the West or somewhere in Australia, you can still get it in India at possibly 1/2 the cost that you would spend if you go there. So that is one big advantage that you get if you are in India looking at a foreign university in India, a great advantage. The same software model which started in the late 80s and 90s of big ID companies establishing their presence, that's what is happening now in the education sector. You got foreign universities establishing their campus in India, Indian universities going abroad. Next slide, please. So since independence, if you look at right from 1947 to what it is today, we have more than about 1,000 universities and about 42,000 colleges. There is a lot of restructuring that is happening in this space of defining what a research-based university is, what a teaching university is. All this is happening now. And thanks to the new education policy, which basically is continuing to enable and take things in the way that is student-enabled. So the straight-jacketed systems of taking up science, then commerce, then arts is all changing. If someone wants to take up a history with physics, it's possible today with the new education policy, and that's a great progressive change that I would say. So the agenda is student-centric. That is what the entire policy is all about. And multidisciplinary research is being encouraged by the government. So Indian universities are joining hands with foreign universities. When I say joining hands, faculty to faculty, and they are conducting research, the government is giving grants for it. So there are conditions for it, of course, that it should be in this set of universities if you're going to go and collaborate for research, and huge amount of money is being spent for collaborative research and also for the research that is impactful, which can make changes to the society. So Spark is one grant which is being mentioned here, and there are several other grants which the government is giving for the faculty members at the higher education space to ensure that the focus is on research and innovation. Collaboration with industry and higher education is something, which is happening for societal value and impact. If you look at the universities in India which are known, they are known for giving great jobs. Okay, including the one which I represent here. If you're going to go and join one of the universities which are equivalent to Symbiosis, or even many of the government institutions which are also known, you are sure to land up in a fabulous organization, or you are sure that you can create a startup which becomes $1 billion startup. So these are the two options that students generally take. In both these spaces, Indian universities are known. I have found some students who possibly go abroad, take fancy degrees there, and then scout for job. They don't get their job there, although they have got it from one of the reputed universities. But it can generally not happen. When I say generally, 99% with confidence level, I can tell that if you are doing a professional program from an Indian university, for sure you will have jobs from the global organization which are picking up students from India, right? The embedded technology and environmental sustainability into teaching learning environment to develop graduate skills and outcome, a lot of impetus in STEM education, in ensuring that skilling happens so that they are employable is what the focus is. Next slide, please. A few key points here about where are Indian students going. Although there are a lot of universities in India, but students do aspire, the inbound mobility of students in India do aspire to come to India and study. So if you look at that, it gives, a lot of them are actually coming from Nepal. Yes, we also have students from other countries, including the Middle East, UAE. And if you look at majority of the representation is Middle East and pockets of Africa. That is a place where a lot amount of students are coming in. Now, if you take my university, we have students from 82 countries who are studying at Symbiosis, including engineering, management, liberal arts, medicine, and other streams that we offer. But the majority is, of course, law, management, and engineering, where we have a lot of students coming in for these courses. The next slide talks about, next slide please, the outbound student mobility. Students do go out to study, and these are the places where they generally go from India to study, either the United States or Canada are the destinations that they seek to go, or of course the UK and Australia. That is the maximum place where students actually go, and these are the statistics that are taken, the source is put up right vertically there. So that's about the mobility of students outside India and inside India. Next slide please. So if you look at the challenges, this is the last one which I'm going to talk about, the two-way flow of students. It is not actually, you see, there is no parity there which we are trying to achieve. Our students are going to the Canada and the United States and Australia, but we have got students coming in from the Middle East, Nepal, and possibly parts of Africa. So we are trying to ensure that the two-way flow is, which is currently unequal. The government is taking all measures to ensure that this becomes kind of a parity is being achieved there. We are also looking at how the partnership models can respond to the untapped demand in-country partnership. And in fact, organizations like QS are also playing a huge role, which Dr. Ashwin was talking about, the recent India summit that happened in Chennai, where fostering partnership between Indian universities and universities abroad, they are also playing a catalyst role to ensure that this happens in a faster manner. The next thing is about how can the high impact research areas where India is considered as subject matter experts directly from research, teaching, partnership collaborations can happen. So that's one area where India is actually focusing, and the universities in India are also focusing to ensure that the research output goes high, both in terms of quality and quantity of research, both the quality of research and the quality of output that the research gives, which brings some kind of difference to the society and also progress in science. The US, UK, Middle East market recognize the importance in India through bilateral agreements, but how do we translate the operations into concrete partnership engagement with clear mutual benefits is the area where we are actually working on. Just not having the partnership on papers, seeing how this can be translated. So India is the destination, if you look at education, where things are transforming for good, for making progress, and sweeping reforms are being brought in to ensure that students benefit through this, at the school level as well as at the higher education level. So that's in short. I think that was the last slide. I was given 5 minutes. I thought I can give the overall 30,000 feet view with some statistics there, because we believe in God, others should bring in numbers, and I brought it there here for you. Thank you so much. I hope we have an engaging panel today.
Dr. Raman, your session was really very heartening. We have put our collars up that India is doing so well, and we are very proud of India.